So I passed this dude on the road and I was inspired to create a video. I'm Conscious Casey, but maybe you don't know who I am. I was homeless 5 years ago. I lost everything. I've struggled with addiction, with coping with life, with chemicals and substances and people and work and all kinds of things just to make myself feel okay. But I'm on this because I want to inspire you. Because no matter what situation you're in, no matter how hard your life is or miserable or mediocre, you have the power to change it. You do. If you want your life to change, you gotta change. That's the message. And you're capable of it. Let's talk about addiction. I hate that word, really. I mean, it's not a good word, addiction. There's a lot of, what do you call it, like stigmas around it. There's a lot of stigmas around addiction. There's a lot of stigmas around recovery or, alcoholic and addict. Because when you label that, then people feel like they need to live up to that. It actually gives them an identity. It gives them an identity to fit into. So if you say you're in recovery, then you do recovery things, right? If you say you're an addict, then you do addict things, right? Or you're trying to overcome your addict things. I felt inspired to do a video because I really want to tell you who I am. So I run and I work out a lot. I take care of my body. I eat well. I do good things. I host recovery groups. I have a good career in IT. I do YouTube. I do private coaching. I'm working on an online community for people. So why would I do an online community? Why would and I also teach yoga. I'm very involved in the yoga community here as well. Why though? Here's where I came from. Okay, I walked 1,200 miles before I ran 1 mile. 5 years ago, my life changed forever. I'm not even going to go into that story. It was coping with life, with chemicals, with drugs and alcohol, and people, and work, and the life, you know, running around trying to party and stuff. But that was like the end of that previous life of mine. That was the end. It didn't happen like that overnight. It happened over 20 years. 20 years to destruction. And I'm only telling you this because, first of all, it's important that people know who I am because I'm on YouTube and I want to help people. I want to inspire people to change, to expand their consciousness, and really shake the limits off of themselves. And also about addiction and recovery and alcoholism and alcoholic and addict, those words, they can be useful because just like a diagnosis can be useful because then you know how to treat it. However, when we give people these names and these identities, they're really identities. When you say, I am something, I am an addict, I am an alcoholic, I am in recovery, I am this, I am that, you are creating and solidifying an identity inside of yourself. That can put you in prison. Some people only live up to their labels. Some people only live up to their identity. Actually, everybody only lives up to their identity. Let's just go with that. Everybody only lives up to their identity. So when I got into recovery, I had to embrace that. That was my identity because I'm a recovering alcoholic and addict because I've been traumatized in my life because I don't know how to cope with life. I don't have coping skills. I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. I was very codependent. I was very affected by certain situations and things in my life. Trauma and the way our psyches are wired are completely different from person to person. It is what makes us unique. They're a culmination of all our experiences. So in order to unravel that, in order to cure that, in order to purify or rewire, I like to call it, rewire my mind, I had to go through different phases of my recovery, really my life. That's what I'm talking about, my life. I had to go through different phases in my life. Really, I'm just trying my best from my first breath to my last, as you are, as everybody is. So if you are struggling with any kind of mental problems, mental health, addiction, trauma, mood disorders, anything like that, there is a way out. There is a way out. And you can get better. We've been created to change. You can get stuck in not changing, but our bodies and our minds can be molded into different people, into different personalities, personal realities, personality. You can actually change your reality. My life is completely different than it was 5 years ago. And I estimate that it will be completely different in 5 more years because of the plans and the way that I'm working with my mind. And you can do the same. That's why I'm creating the community called Reality by Design. It's a school community. It's going to be a paid community. I might let people in first for free, people who want to join and help build the community. It's only for like-minded people that are working on personal development, that are into spiritual practices and spirituality, that are either building businesses or building their fitness, building their body, building their families, building their relationships. It's for people who are creating, not for really consumers. All right, we're changing from consuming to creating. It's reality by design. You're creating your reality. It's for people that want to live life to the fullest. We're here for a snap, just a snap, and then we're out of here. And I just realized that my microphone is back here. I wonder if this is picking up everything. I'm going to grab my microphone and I'm going to start talking into it. Transformation doesn't happen overnight usually. You can have large periods of growth. They usually follow a deep suffering. That's where large periods of growth happen because it forces you to do things differently. It forces you into meditation. It forces you into yoga. It forces you to go to the class or write the journal entry. It forces you to do that because you don't have any other options. But we can choose to do those things as well. It's important to get a baseline in your life of I'm okay, at least. I'm okay with myself and I'm okay with my situation. I can definitely help you with that as well because we all need support in this world. We all need connection. We all need people cheering us on. And I am a great cheerleader. I love cheering people on. I love people, the brightness in their eyes turns up and they're like, hey, I'm getting this. Hey, I'm making progress. Hey, I see my world changing. I feel different about myself. I love myself. I'm taking care of myself. I notice the thoughts now. I notice those shitty thoughts now, and I can change them. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's what my process was too. I have it written down. It's about 50 building blocks of what I've done in the last 5 years. 50 building blocks of meditation, prayer, emotional diet, media diet. I could go on and on, just making changes. Change can be really painful, and you need to be resourced in order to work through those difficult times. I mean, I had ugly cries a lot, okay, during this. My 17-year marriage broke up. I couldn't see my kids for a while. I didn't have any escape with alcohol and drugs. I had to figure out a different way to live. Now, everybody's not on that track. I understand that. But like the Buddha said, everybody in this life suffers from pain, but it doesn't have to continue. We can find peace in this world. We can find love. We can find connection. We can find equanimity. That's having an equal mind, not too far this way, not too far that way. Buddha also called it the middle way. Reality by Design is founded on knowing thyself. Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within you. And I believe that. I believe that we have every capability that our Creator had. We are creators. We can create things. We've created all kinds of things in this world. And you can change your reality. I used to be a different person. Like, not at the core of me, I'm a good human being. I love people. I love connection. I love community. I'm a hard worker. I'm can be very consistent and disciplined. I can also be not. I can also procrastinate, and I can also try to bend the rules and stuff, but I'm a good boy now, so I don't do that anymore. I had to learn how to love pain and love crying and love the hurt and the grief. I just embraced it. Because the more you feel that grief, the more you feel that pain, the deeper your springboard back to life is going to be. And the quicker it's going to be. Holding it back and trying to be busy and go through life and like try this, try that, and prolonging that pain and keeping it bottled up inside, it will never go away. Never. It only stays there and comes out sideways, and it's hurting you. It's hurting people around you. And it's better to just let it flow. Les Brown said, make know your vitamin. He was a salesman, okay? He's a young salesman. He's going door to door. Everybody's telling him no. No, no, no. That gets discouraging. You know, kind of like when you feel like when you're crying a lot and you're like, it's never going to stop, and you're not used to crying and you feel the pain and you don't want to feel the pain. That's the metaphor that I'm making. So he's after getting the door slammed in his face a bunch of times, he said to his boss, I'm going to make no my vitamin. I must have a bunch of no's every day. So when people would say no, he'd say, thank you, sir. On to the next. And that inspired me to make pain my vitamin. And the more I allowed it, the less I had. And the more I allowed it, the more nourished I felt, the more in tune with life I felt. Because what is life if you don't have emotion? Energy and motion. We're made of energy. It's supposed to move. We're supposed to be sad and mad and glad and joyous and grieving and hurt and mad and broken and elated. You know, it's part of life. It's part of the video game. So I hope you can embrace that. All right. Thanks for coming to my channel and seeing my videos. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get notifications. I just hit 500 subscribers, so that's pretty cool. I appreciate all the love from people. I'm continuing to work on my flow and trying to get a rhythm. Yeah, it's always a work in progress. I'm always a work in progress. I hope you are too. We'll look out for the Reality by Design links coming and join the community. I would love to have you so we can work together. Live calls, forum to post questions and do Q&A, and courses to be taking to expand our consciousness and change our reality. I love you. Have a good night or day. I'll see you in the next video.